here we have some problems where our graphs are undergoing what we call horizontal shifts. This one, k of x equals x plus 2 quantity squared, well, really this is a quadratic function, so it's going to look like your typical quadratic shape. When you put a value in here with the x and then square the whole thing, this becomes a horizontal shift. It's going to move it left or right. But how do we know which way it's going to move it? Well, so the basic quadratic, y equals x squared, is right there. One way to think about this is to ask yourself what value for x would make what's inside the parentheses 0, because then you'd square that and y would equal 0. So it's sort of like we're making a little table here of x and y values. So if y is going to be 0, what's the value that makes what's in the parentheses 0? Well, that would be a -2. -2 plus 2 is 0. You square that, that equals 0. So the point -2, 0 is on this graph, which means this whole thing just gets moved over 2 to the left. So a positive value inside the parentheses shifts it over to the left by that amount. A negative value would shift it over to the right. And we can see that graph right here. All right, let's try another one. The absolute value function works in very much the same way. If there's a value along with the x inside the absolute value symbols, it's going to shift it left or right. And you can think of this k of x as y, so let's make a little xy chart here. And I would ask myself, what value for x will make what's in the absolute value symbol 0? In this case, it would be 4. If we do that, this equals 0, so y equals 0. So the point 4, 0 is going to be on this graph. So let's go over to x equals 4 and 0, and we have our graph there, which looks just like what's going on in D. All right, let's try one more. So here we have our cubic function, and inside the parentheses, so x minus 4 parentheses cubed, we have this -4. So we know our mother function for the cubic is going to look like that. This is going to move it left or right by 4. You might be guessing it's going to move it right because it's a negative value if it holds with the other ones. Let's try and test this by thinking of what value will make what's in the parentheses 0. Well, that would be 4 in this case. And then y would come out as 0 because 4 minus 4 is 0. 0 cubed is 0. So the point 4, 0 is going to be on here. So over here, that's where it'll cross the x-axis. So this is the graph we're looking for. And don't be snookered by this one. It looks like it's been shifted over to the right, but it went up a couple of points too. This is our correct answer here. So that's a little bit of work with horizontal shifts.